What's up, YouTube? How we doing today? How we doing today? Thank you for Buzz becoming a member of the channel. Appreciate your support. You're another one. I've been giving shout outs to people in the community. Another one in the community who is helping out. And a lot of people don't know about. Buzz helps out a lot of people. So thank you on behalf of the community to Buzz. Oh, what's up? What's up, Cyclone? How you doing? How we doing? How we doing? I'm just getting my bearings going. I just sat down at my desk, got my coffee here, and I thought I would go over some of the articles with you today. But before we dive into that stuff, digital slang. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Get him out of here. No, I'm joking. Yeah, just let me know how my audio and my video is looking. How's the background music? Is everything lining up real nice? Real nice? Oh, yeah. Love that coffee in the morning. Love that coffee in the morning. So yesterday we talked about a bunch of different things. There were some things that I actually left out. I actually wanted to talk about how Xbox has implemented a new power saving mode. And it was interesting because I saw that some tech reporters were reporting on this, and then some streaming places at the same time were reporting don't use your PS5 and your Xboxes as your streaming device. And their arguments were kind of dumb. It was kind of dumb. So they are powerful devices. They're going to be able to do whatever the hell you want them to do. But their argument was that they use too much power. Well, they're gaming machines, so they're going to use power. They're going to use more than, a little tiny fire stick, right? So, yeah, it's on. It's anyways, you're going to be using it, and there's different things that you can be using on a gaming device that you can't necessarily do on a streaming device too, right? Well, I mean, the lines are being a little bit more blurred these days. We did talk a little bit about Netflix yesterday, how Netflix is implementing the ability to transfer your profile if you're sharing an account so that you can purchase account and your watch history and everything goes with it. But Netflix, like I said, Netflix is trying to be always in the news. They're always trying to be in the news. I am going to start with Netflix, and then we're going to go into some controversial topics today. So let's start with Netflix. Let me grab the articles about Netflix here. So if anyone doesn't know, and if anyone is interested in stocks and all that kind of stuff, Netflix reported earnings yesterday. And, everybody, I think that there was a lot of people expecting them to report a bad earnings report, right? And they didn't. They gained subscribers for the first time in a long time. And that sent their stock going up, I think, $35. It was crazy. Absolutely insane. Where's the article that I seen about Netflix that I was gonna? Well, here's something stupid. I mean, it's Netflix related, so I'll share it. Let me share my screen. Window, share. All right, so throughout the live chat, I do put a lot of work into my live streams. I'm usually on here for about an hour, hour and a half to 2 hours. There's going to be periodic times throughout the live streams where the chat is going to be turned off and on, just to encourage some more interaction. There's going to be times where it is going to be turned off and on, and it will be members only at certain periods. Usually when I start my live streams now, they will be members only, and I will take off the members only mode once we get going. Just for those people that are supporting the channel, they can have their opportunity to say whatever they want about the topics first. right, there we go. Let's save that, and we're gonna share the screen. We got the. Sorry about that, guys. Refreshed my screen by accident. What music do we have as the background? Let's try this one. And we'll go back to sharing the screen. And here we go. Netflix is exploring getting into cloud gaming, and it has 55 mobile games in flight. These games look like they're for the Nintendo system. Like, what is this? And the way that it works is that as long as you have a Netflix subscription, then you're good to go. And you would download the games onto your mobile device, and then you would go from there. But like, I don't understand why Netflix is focusing on this when they should really be focusing on what they're good at, which is original coffee, right? Original content. I saw Tim Windsor said I need coffee, and I said the word coffee at the same time. So Netflix is definitely looking to experience a youth movement. The streaming service is continuing its foray into gaming, and it has its eyes on even bigger expansion in the future, according to a report by TechCrunch. At who is this? We're very seriously exploring a cloud gaming offering so that we can reach members on the TV and the PC. Verdu said, according to The Verge, we are going to approach this the same way that we did with mobile, which is start small, be humble, be thoughtful, and then build out. But it's a step that we think we should take to meet members where they're on their devices, where they consume Netflix. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, does anybody really care? Does anybody really care? Like, here, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Restore chat. And I will do this. How do I do this? Do you care about Netflix gaming? All right, polls up in the chat. Tell me what you think. What's up, Purge? How you doing? What's up, B Davy? How you doing? Hope you guys are good. Good. So polls up in the chat. So drop your comments on that poll. But they keep coming in. It's almost like they just want to be in the news for absolutely anything these days. Like, who cares about your stupid gaming? Like, look, Google tried to do it, and they said, you know what? F this, we're folding. And they jumped out. But Google is notorious for starting projects and killing them. That is true. Here's the report on their earnings last night. So Netflix adds 2.4 million customers in third quarter. It, rises to 223 million global I can't talk today, guys. Jeez. Subscribers. Much of the conversation about Netflix centered around the service upcoming ad-supported tier, which will be launched Thursday, November the 3rd. And if you guys want to hear more about that, I did talk about this more in depth in yesterday's live stream. Suggested that, take a gander at that live stream. I like watching previous day live streams because you can watch them at 2x speed, and you can kind of whip through them and skip through them. So you don't have to watch the whole thing or at the original speed, right? Like for you guys that are live in effect, you can't put me in 2x. You can't skip forward. You can't go forward in time. You don't got no Aya Agamotto. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? What's up, Shrink and Sharon? Hey, Shrink and Sharon, I'm facing you in the fantasy football thing this weekend, I think. All right. All right, so the world's largest streamer, which is still the world's largest streamer. Actually, you know what? They were overtaken by the bundle of Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN. Like the whole bundle passed them in the total amount of subscribers. But now Netflix gained a whole bunch of subscribers. So I'm not sure if that's still the case. I'd have to go back and take a look. So included 104,000 bump in the United States and Canada to bring the total in the region to 73.93 million. The increase in the US and Canada is the first time Netflix has seen subscriber growth in the combined countries since Q4 of last year. So it's almost a whole year they haven't seen any growth in North America. Yeah, I know. I watched that last night happen. As soon as the market closed, it went boom and took off. I see you 619. What's up? Yeah, it was pretty insane. Yes, Buzz, the show is on already. I even gave you a shout out at the beginning of the show for becoming a member. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. The rise represents 10 million subscribers year over year subscriber increase from when Netflix reported 213 million customers following the third quarter of 2021. That's a decent jump, guys. That is a decent jump from third quarter of 2021. So we're looking at a year. A year ago, Netflix only had 213 subscribers. So we're looking at they gained 10 million subscribers. So the amount of shit that, the third party community talks, yeah, but there's still a lot of value for people who aren't third-party app enthusiasts. We have to realize that. We have to respect it as well, right? Time is money. You want to invest a lot of time to save a lot of money in third-party apps, then cool. But there's some people that just want what they want and they want it now. And you know what? There's a lot of good content on there. And there's a lot of good variety. Doesn't matter, what kind of content you're into. You're going to find a good variety of content on Netflix, right? All right, so it says following the second quarter, Warner Bros. Discovery reported that HBO Max and Discovery Plus had a combined of 92.1 million subscribers. As a part of Paramount's earning update, Paramount Plus reported having 43 million global subscribers, thanks to an increase of 5.2 million by the end of Q2. Neither Prime Video nor Apple TV subscribers report their total subscribers. And I would think that would be kind of skewed too, because I think there's a lot of people that have Prime Video that don't actually use it. Not saying that it's bad, but I think that people just get it with their Prime membership or whatever it is, and they don't actually use it. And then Apple TV, I think that that's a really good value service as well. Their content is really, really good, and the price for the service isn't that expensive. I actually think that Apple TV Plus is a good service as well. As the company celebrated its 25th anniversary in August, details of Netflix's venture into the ad-supported streaming came into sharper focus. So I talked about that earlier as well. All right, so I'm not going to go through the rest of this article. You can feel free to scroll through it. But at the end of the day, the big thing is in the last year, Cyclone. Wow, I can't multi-focus today. That's not even what I'm trying to do. I can't read and talk at the same time today. I'm struggling, guys. I'm struggling. So yeah. So the biggest things to take away from the article or from Netflix's earning is over the last year, Q3 2021 to Q3 2022, they have gained 10 million subscribers. There was a lot of subscribers being lost within the first Q1 and Q2 of this year. However, Q3, they've seen a substantial increase in subscribers. Shrinking Sharon says she has Apple TV. And Shrinking Sharon, do you enjoy Apple TV? I think you do. I think you do. But I'm not going to speak for you. That would just be rude. All right. So there's a couple other things here. Let's see. Let's see what this person has to say about Netflix. Yep, you do. I knew it. Netflix refuses to follow the biggest trend in streaming. Releasing episodes weekly has become quite popular in the world of streaming, but Netflix has defended its strategy of releasing an entire season of TV shows all at once in recent earning calls. A recent rumor had suggested that Netflix could pivot from its binge watching model, but it appears for now the streamer will persist with its habit of dropping all episodes simultaneously rather than adopting a weekly release schedule. The other thing that Netflix does is that they'll release like half a season at a time. And I think that's actually pretty cool. Like half a season at a time still keeps people pretty interested, and it still gives the production team time to create more content, right? Like how they did it with Ozark, and I think there was a couple other shows they did it with as well, but where they release half the shows and then the other half. And here's a really, really good point. So this person in this article says it's hard to imagine, for example, how a Korean title like Squid Game would have become a mega hit globally without the momentum that came from people being able to binge watch it like all at one time. And then once people consumed it all at one time, they started telling everybody about it. Like the amount of eyes that were on Squid Game was unbelievable. So it says in a shareholder letter, they said, we believe the ability for our members to immerse themselves into a story from start to finish increases their enjoyment, but also their likelihood to tell their friends, which is exactly what I just said. Which then means more people watch, join, and stay with Netflix. Well, they'll only stay as long as you keep producing content instead of focusing on stupid cloud-based gaming. Yeah, so there's that. I'm not going to read the rest of the article. You can dive into that, but let me know what you guys think. Let's go take a look at that poll. Let's take a look at this poll. We got 8 votes. I guess I'll wait for 10 and then we'll close up the poll. What's up, Octavia? You actually receiving the notification? That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Coming in here with some crazy talk. Yeah, so I'm not going to read the rest of the article, but you guys can follow up on that if you want to. That's an article from Tom's Guide. Yesterday, we talked about how that they're going to be implementing the ability to transfer your profile on Netflix. I'm not going to read this whole article here, but it says Netflix may introduce personalized targeted ads, but not right away. So I guess they're going to be trying to collect data on you to provide ads that are more suitable to your taste. Maybe they'll do that through your watching habits. Who knows, right? I'm not going to read the whole article. And then here, this is what I want to talk about. This is the meat and potatoes. This is what I made the thumbnail about. So if you are here because of the thumbnail of the video, this is the article here, and it's an article from NxTLvLTech. It says Netflix sets early 2023 rollout of extra user fees. And we talked about this a little bit on yesterday's live show as well. Buzz, I think so. I think the games are just for they're just crappy games. Just whatever. I don't know. So after testing various schemes, I love that word, Netflix be scheming. They be scheming, right? In Latin America, Netflix says it's landed on a thoughtful approach on how to monetize account sharing. Interesting. So for those of you that don't know, I've produced videos in the past where they've talked about adding an additional home, and the way that they police that is if the IP addresses that are seen on the accounts are persistent over 2 weeks, then they consider that to be a non-home base user, right? That IP address. And then at that point, that's where they're going to start blocking the IP address and then asking you to pay for an additional connection or additional home, right? So we'll go on to see what they're saying in here. After various testing systems in Latin America for monetizing uses of its system that doesn't occur in the homes of its members, Netflix said that it's ready to deploy a formal plan early next year. We've landed on a thought. Why do they keep saying thoughtful? Like we thought about how you guys want to pay us more. We really thought about it, and it means a lot to us. That's what they're saying here. We've been rolling this out more broadly starting early 2023. Is that really the whole article? There's nothing of context. After listening to the consumer feedback, we are going to offer the ability for borrowers to transfer. This is nothing. This article gave me nothing of context. So the only thing that I got from this article is that they are going to be implementing or policing it more early 2023. So at the end of this year, November, you're going to have the ability to purchase Netflix at a subsidized rate through ad-based programming. December, you're probably going to get the ability that you can transfer your profile to a new account that you will pay for the services. And then next year, they're going to force you into submission if you are sharing an account by start banning more and more IP addresses, right? So that's your Netflix roundup for the day. That's your Netflix combo. So let me know what you guys think about that. I'm going to check the poll and see if you guys have all voted. This says that we got 8 votes. Let me just refresh it and see. I really wanted to get 10 votes. Now we're still at 8 votes. If you haven't voted in the poll in the chat, make sure you do so. I'm going to stop it when we hit 10 votes. Okay? All right. Trying to add some more interaction, give you guys a little bit more ways to express yourself when it comes to interacting with me and myself. All right. So there was an article yesterday as well. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, might be interesting. Apple is giving their smart assistant a whole new look in their latest tvOS 16 update. Apple's really coming hard with their TV device. Like a lot of operating system updates and hardware updates, like they are really going hard this year. Okay, here. You know what? Let's talk about this for a second. So Octavia says, so for one relative, they're going to be kicked off of Netflix. So probably you pay for Netflix and they're going to get kicked off your account when they start banning IP addresses unless you add another house to your account or whatever they want to call it, another user or whatever. But let's say all these people who get kicked off, you don't want to pay the bill for them, right? And you don't want to deal with the headache of you paying it and them giving you the money. Let's say all these people get kicked off, right? And they all go join, or even 50% of these people go join the ad-based program for $6.99 just to continue to get access to the content. 50% of them. So let's say, what do you guys? Okay, give me a percentage. Throw me in the chat. Do you think that out of Netflix's total user base, out of their total subscribers, do you think that 10% are people sharing their accounts? 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%? Give me a percentage. How many of Netflix's total subscribers do you think are sharing their account? I think the number is a lot higher than we think it is. Yeah, see, Greg thinks it's 45%. Like that seems really high. Like I would say maybe 30%, but 45, you don't know, right? Like 619 says 60%. You guys, like, I don't know. What do you guys think? You really think you could be sharing is caring? You guys just keep going up. 70%, 90%. Give me a couple more guesses. What do you think? The total amount of accounts on Netflix, what do you think it is that's being shared? How many do you guys really think it is? Like realistically, it's not 90%. I don't think it's 70% shrink and sharing. I don't think it's that high. You're thinking at least 50%? That's a big number because once we start to quantify that, right? We're looking at if Netflix has 231 million, we're saying that 115.5 million accounts are being shared. Right? So if that was the case, and 115 million people got booted off of accounts, right? And only 50% of that 50% joined back up under the ad-based tiered program, right? We're looking at Netflix gaining 57 million subscribers. And that would take them all the way up to almost 300 million subscribers. Like, what do you guys think about that scenario? So even if we say it's 30%, so 230, 70 million. So if we did it at 30%, we say 70 million people are sharing their accounts. I think that's a pretty reasonable number, right? And we say 70 million of these people get 70 million of the users that are sharing their accounts have their leech worthy friends get chopped off, and only 50% of those sign back up on some kind of tiered based program, most likely the ad based program. We're looking at them gaining 35 million. So if we do 35 million on top of that, it takes Netflix to 266 million subscribers. So maybe the number's a little bit less. Maybe it's a 30-30 ratio. Maybe it's 30% of the total user base, which is 70 million, get told that their IPs are banned and they need to either set up a new user or they need to add an additional connection to their Netflix account. And only 30% of that who shared their Netflix account in here. Bait yourself out. Do it now. And then even if it's 30% of that 70 million that get their IPs banned, right? And 30% of those people join up on the ad plan, that's a gain of 21 million subscribers on Netflix's side, right? That's still a big jump. Like even if it was 10% or 5, like anything over 5% is some substantial numbers, right? So I guess as a shareholder's perspective, this is going to be good on a numbers basis. Consumers are going to hate it. Consumers will hate it, right? Netflix ain't bad. See, like Slang says he loves Netflix. That's cool, bro. Like I'm not a Netflix hater. I just don't need it. Like I don't need a relationship with Netflix. I'm not a Netflix hater. And I like listen, I don't want any of these streaming services to go out of business. I don't, because what that means is less content. And we love content. We love the ability to go out and find anything we want to watch in all kinds of different genres, right? And everybody likes to watch something different. So once these streaming services start to have issues, then there's less content being produced. And here we go. Like I talk about this all the time. Slang says T-Mobile pays for it. There's a lot of ways to get access to the streaming platforms that is covered or discounted by another product or service that you're already using. 100% there is, right? To be honest, I'm not sure, Greg. And if you could before, you might not be able to starting in the new year. So, I mean, you could try it, but you might get your IPs banned. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's funny. So earlier in the Telegram group, I was giving out all the Brid vouchers for a free month. And we waited like 15 minutes and nobody claimed the code. I haven't gone back to check, but I will be probably giving out some more all the Brid vouchers in the Telegram group. And I might give away a couple weed accounts too. That's a streaming app. So I can't talk about that a lot on YouTube because YouTube don't like me talking about that stuff. But yeah, it's just funny. So if you're not a part of the Telegram group, you want to join there because there's always stuff being given away. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Um, Greg, Greg asked me, did I ever have Netflix? I'm gonna have to say no. In the very, very early days, uh, I maybe used somebody else's account, but I've never personally had 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 At Netflix. Yes, weed accounts. I'm giving away weed accounts. You guys are funny. Okay. So I'm going to get back to Apple. Apple's doing some really, really good things. Their latest Apple TV 4K is a banger of a device. It is a really solid, smooth, fast device. And it's really putting the streaming market, like it's really testing them because it is going to be, if not the fastest, one of the fastest devices when it comes to gaming, when it comes to networking. And I'm talking about hardware wise, not wireless, right? Because the new Cube will still have a faster wireless signal than the new Apple 4K TV, right? But this one is going to have probably, I would probably bet that the new Apple TV 4K will have a better GPU for gaming. However, I keep saying this, it doesn't make sense to be investing money into gaming hardware on these streaming devices when most of the future of gaming on these devices will be cloud-based and doesn't matter about the actual hardware on the device. We've seen Luna being implemented on smart TVs, and we've talked about smart TVs forever. Smart TVs usually do not have the best of specs when it comes to hardware, right? They just have what they need to get through their smart little OS, and that's it. And generally, because it's a lot more difficult to update a whole smart TV versus a smart streaming device, the hardware in it tends to become obsolete and outdated a lot quicker. Well, not quicker, but you know what I'm saying. It's just easier to update shit. What's up, Paper Plate? How you doing? What's up, Jeremy? Listening at work. Appreciate you guys. That's silly. That is silly and stupid. So 619 says, I saw a video the day you need Wi-Fi 7 for 8K streaming. That was a really bad joke if that's what they were trying to get at, because you don't. Yeah, so here. The rendering is done remotely as long as the device and connection can keep up with the streaming of the game. And this is exactly why Amazon has been buying the companies that they've been buying. So Amazon bought Euro, right? Or Eero, or whatever the hell it's called, right? And and um, they're implementing Wi-Fi 6E in their latest devices. They want to make sure that you're getting the best latency from your network so that you can do the best cloud-based gaming, right? It's a whole roundabout way of their ecosystem all working together well. So that if you come and say, hey, I'm trying to use this and it's not working well, they can make a suggestion from the repertoire of hardware devices that is going to fix your issue. They don't have to send you somewhere else. Yeah, it had to be clickbait. That's just because they're saying 789 or whatever. I don't know, like some kind of stupid numbers joke, right? I just want to make sure I'm not missing any comments, guys. Because honestly, like I love doing these live streams just for the comments, just being able to hang out with you guys. Like it's fun. I've done a live stream every single day this week. Just even though they get less views than the videos, if I was to drop a video, I just like hanging out with you guys. So I kind of rather just wanted to do this week. So shout out to Buzz again for telling people about the live, because notifications don't always work. And just a reminder, there's like 60% of the people watching my videos that are not subscribed. I think it's 63% the last time I checked. So I think that there's a lot of people who think they're subscribed to my content, but they're not. So you want to make sure that you are subscribed and that you do have the notification bell turned on, because there's content coming out, like a lot of content. I'm dropping videos and live streams every single week. So you're going to miss something. And a lot of times I try to respect your guys' time a lot by only dropping like a 5-minute video. And you could play that at 2x speed, get through it in like a minute and a half if you wanted to, right? Just get through the intro, get through the outro, and then just do 2x speed in the meat and potatoes of the actual video. And you get the latest news within a minute of watching my videos. So you want to make sure you have the notification bell turned on, right? I try to respect you guys' time. So I really think that Apple is going a long way with their devices, but I'm really confused about certain things with Apple. So Apple still has something called Apple Arcade, and Apple Arcade is not a cloud-based gaming platform. And maybe that's the reason that they're still beefing up the GPU processing power in some of these units. But I think Apple Arcade needs a revamp. I think they need, like, you imagine if they weren't upgrading the GPU in this, like they're releasing this cheaper than the new Fire Cube. I think it's like $20 cheaper than the new Fire Cube or something like that, right? If they didn't upgrade the GPU and this thing was $30 or $40 cheaper than the Fire Cube, like it would, like, this is a good device. This is a really good device. Like, it's coming with a really good processor. It's coming with actually, you know what? There's a really, really good article over on AFTV News. So let's go here. So here's a good breakdown. So the Apple TV here, this is it here, and this is the Fire Cube Gen 3. So I guess we'll compare this one with this one. It's $10 cheaper. Now, one thing that really stands out is that the new Fire TV Cube has 8 cores, which means that it can do more tasks at the same time. And the next closest ones are the Apple TV devices with 6-core processor units, right? The Tegra chips from the Shields only have 4 cores. So yes, those 4 cores are fast, but can it do the same amount of work at the same time, right? So yeah. All right, so here it is right here. You can see it here. What happened? What did I miss? So this is a good thing. So is your face in your videos is difficult to watch? My face is in the videos, but it's shrunken down and it's only in black and white and it's see-through. So you don't have to focus on my face. You can see what's on the screen. And that's why I do it. Like, I'm not the point of the video. I want what I'm talking about to be the point of the video, as well as what's on the screen and in the article, right? So I don't want you guys focusing on me. Who cares about me? So my face is really small, it's black and white, and it's transparent. Okay, so let's keep going through here. This is very interesting. When we talk about computer or compute processing units or the CPU, the Apple devices are crazy. So we only have 6 cores. 2 of those single cores are running at 3.2 gigahertz, which is the fastest from any streaming device. Really, really fast at only those 2 cores. The next 4 cores are done at 2 gigahertz, right? And when we look at Fire TV Cube Gen 3, it's going to be really, really interesting to see. Will the 4 cores running at 2.2 gigahertz be just as fast or faster than the 2 cores running at 3.2 gigahertz? It's going to be interesting to see how that relates in regards to real world performance, right? It's almost like an AMD versus Intel thing, because Intel usually has less cores than AMD, and the Intel cores will usually be clocked a little bit higher, but they'll have less cores. So the Amazon ones, they are clocked a little bit lower than the Apple ones here, but they have more cores, so they can do more workload. So it's going to be interesting to see how that translates in real world performance, right? You can see here, GPU cores, 8 cores, and the Apple devices have 4 or 5. So again, the Apple devices will have probably a higher clock speed when it comes to GPU, but the Amazon devices has more cores to do more work at the same time. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that is implemented in the real world performance, right? So you can see here 800 megahertz is on the GPU cores for the Apple Amazon devices or the Cube. And then on the Apple devices here, it's clocked in at 1200 megahertz, which is like a good 30% faster. But at the same time, there's less of those cores moving at that speed. So we have more cores working at 30% slower, or less cores working at 30% faster. So I guess it depends on how the developers and how the real world performance translates. We don't know how much RAM is in the Apple devices, but it would probably be 2 or 3. The new Cube only has 2. And then you can see here it's got the Wi-Fi 6E versus everything else just having Wi-Fi 6. Yeah, so everything else was covered kind of in the video yesterday. I didn't want to dive too much into that, but it's going to be really interesting to see if we were to compare top of the line Apple and top of the line Amazon, then we're seeing that the Apple device is $10 more and the Cube is $10 less. But what are you getting? You can obviously do a little bit more third-party stuff on the Fire TV Cube, but you're getting more cores. I want to say you're getting a better smart assistant experience, but I haven't used too much of the smart assistant experience on the TV devices from Apple. I haven't used it at all, so I can't say, right? You are also getting a 1 gigabyte LAN port on the Apple TV 4K and only getting 100 megabytes a second on the Fire TV Cube Generation 3, right? You are also getting the Wi-Fi 6E. So if you're somebody that wants the latest and greatest when it comes to networking, you're going to get that on the Fire TV Cube Gen 3. You're not going to get that on any other devices on the market. But if you are looking for the most hard drive space out of these devices, then that's where you're going to get that from the Apple devices as well. So it's really interesting to see that out of all the devices that gives you the most hardware or hard drive space, that's Apple. And Apple typically doesn't do that. They don't give you the most hardware or hard drive space. And if they do, they definitely charge you more than anybody else in the market. So I actually think that these are priced really reasonable, especially for Apple devices and what you're getting for them. Like, let's be real. Like, a lot of you guys don't use Apple devices, right? But $149 for 128 gigs of onboard storage, 1 gigabyte LAN, the fastest CPU on the market when it comes to streaming devices, 4K, 60 frames a second, HDR10, probably AV1 as well, Dolby Atmos, Thread Radio. What is Thread Radio? I don't even know what that is. Let's go search that. What is Thread Radio? Oh, interesting. That's a way to connect the smart home, like smart home linking with smart home devices. Yeah, it must be an Apple ecosystem thing because I don't know much about that. And the remote is rechargeable. You don't have to use batteries as well. And it charges by USB-C. Like, I think that's a pretty good value for, 130 or 150 bucks when it comes to a streaming device. See, even Slang uses Apple and Android devices. And he's like, that's shocking that you're getting such a good value price from an Apple product. Like, that's weird to me. Like, I don't understand what's happening. Apple is taking this very seriously. They're upgrading a lot of the Apple OS features and the device, and they're coming with a reasonable price. Like, I don't understand. What world am I living in? Yeah, I know. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. But again, if you're not an enthusiast, you don't need faster than 100 megabytes a second as long as your latency is good. Let's be realistic. Like, you don't need more than 100 megabytes a second. Maybe next year or the year after, when all you watch is 8K content, then you'll need more than 100 megabytes a second. You can go to the gig. But it's really just the people that want to run a media center off of their devices. And like, if you really want to do that, then there's other devices to use. So let's show Paper Plate. Paper Plate says, I think they knew that they had to step up to the challenge of where things are with all the other devices and bring something to the table. So okay, you know what? Let's make me bigger. Where do I want to go? Let's zoom around the screen. Hey, what was that? Do I like the way this looks? Can I move it around the screen? I wish I could drag that. That would be pretty cool. Hey, that doesn't look too bad. What do you guys think? Leave it like this? This looks pretty good. Okay, so let's be realistic. Let's be realistic here. What did Apple do? They just threw up any device on the market, and they've had these Apple TVs in the market for a very long time. They've been charging a lot of money for them, and they didn't really have to implement or update or whatever. They just said, hey, we're Apple and people are going to buy them no matter what. Cool. They did that. And then they did something really, really smart. They came out with their own streaming platform, and they didn't really talk about it. They didn't. Like, there was a couple things. They brought on some really good people, Jennifer Aniston, the guy from The Office, and a bunch of other people. Even the guy who played Captain America had a really good show on there. There was a bunch of good shows that came out on Apple TV Plus, and one thing that they did is they kept it as a really, really reasonable price. Right? I didn't think that the marketing was too crazy on Apple TV Plus. The price is like $5-6, and the quality, both on a writer's perspective as well as visually and audio, everything was really crisp and clean when I was watching the Apple TV content. Like, really, really good stuff, right? And now that they got enough subscribers on their service, because you don't need an Apple device to consume Apple TV Plus, I guess once they seen that they had enough subscribers on that service, they understood that there was a demand for this kind of thing. And by doing this now, I think that they're going to really be pulling in a lot more subscribers and a lot more customers on their devices as well as Apple TV Plus. So I think that they took their time, just like Apple does with a lot of things. They look at what the other people in the market is doing, and then they implement it in their own way, in a way that they can be confident in which they do it, right? Like, they didn't have to jump into something, try to get a whole bunch of subscribers, their servers go down, or their business goes bankrupt. Like, they didn't have to do any of that. They made each move very strategic and with confidence. So I have a lot of respect for what Apple is doing in the streaming world. And I know that you guys don't want to hear that, but I think that when it comes to legitimate stuff in the streaming world, Apple is doing a lot of things right. And I get it. Like, Cyclone, I get it. I get it. Operating system, a lot of it is because you don't like their operating system. And that's cool. But like, if you weren't a tinkerer and you weren't an enthusiast and you were dealing with everything at face value, like legitimate face value, you would probably like the operating system of Apple. But because you know too much, your knowledge stops you from embracing that. And I get it. I always say it. Time is money, right? You invest a lot of your time into tinkering and doing a lot of things, and, you know, being able to accomplish a lot of things that a lot of people can't in the background. And it's allowed you to save money when you do certain things. And I get it. I'm not knocking you for that. Like, put in the time and the energy and you will save money. But what I'm saying is, we can't deny the value that Apple is bringing to the table at these price points and what they're giving you. You can't deny it. Here, look, Flickchick. I like the idea of a rechargeable remote, right? I like the idea too. And it's USB-C, not lightning cable. Buzz says, yeah, true. Netflix and stuff are optimized to be able to run fine on slower connections. They are, and they still look great. Cyclone says, I liked you better when you were an Android fanboy. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Anyone have or know anyone with an Amazon TV? Um, I I have a Fire TV. It's the only TV that I have in the place that I'm in right now. I haven't used it in a very long time because I don't watch TV that much. Shocking. I talk about TV services all the time and I barely watch TV. I don't have time. Yeah, I know, man. I know. I know. I know you are. Don't worry. So Paper Plate says, I think it goes right back to the foundation of why Apple users stay on Apple: simplicity. Exactly. right? We want to be able to, and I'm not saying that I'm an Apple fanboy, but as a person, you want to be able to just sit down, turn on some shit, and do what you want to do, right? Let's be realistic. Sometimes, right, especially with 4 or 5 years ago when we were buying devices from Banggood and GearBest, you would have to sit down and really spend an hour or two customizing that device for how you wanted it. You know, I want to install these apps, and I want to put on this launcher, and I want the launcher to open when it does this. So I got to install, I don't know, this other program, and I want to remap all these buttons, and I want to do all this, and I need to get a different remote because the remote that came with this device is straight trash. Like, simplicity, just sit down, use the device the way that it's supposed to be used, and have that device and remote function the way that it should. Yeah, there's a lot of people with Fire TVs. They're good values for sure. Is an Amazon branded or another what is it Amazon branded or another brand? Oh, so they're, yeah, that's new. The Amazon branded TVs are new. So the TV that I have here is a Toshiba one. Um, but there are Amazon branded TVs that are coming out now. That's, I think, new within the last year. And I think that there's some pretty good value when it comes to them, right? So I wouldn't knock them. I got to take a look to see who's actually making them. I can't remember now. It might be TCL or another company that starts with H. I can't remember. But I wouldn't knock them. I would still think that they're good devices. Because I think you can still get some Amazon TVs that are like OLED for pretty cheap. I can try to maybe pull it up here. Actually, I think there might be whoa, what's this? Huh. Here's a brand new article just came out. It said older Fire TVs can now control Bluetooth headphone volume with the remote as well. I'm pretty sure. So there's been some videos that have came about this. I was thinking about making a video about this, but I didn't really care enough to make a video about it. And when I don't care enough about a topic, the video just ends up being like 2 minutes long and a whole bunch of fluff. And I think it's kind of disrespectful for you guys. So I guess I'll just mention this now. There's a new conversational, or not new, but upgrades and additions to the conversational AI driven recommendation engine on the Fire TVs. And you're going to see a new menu when you say, certain commands on the smart assistant remote for your Fire TVs. If you say, what should I watch? Then you're going to see a new menu that comes up and gives you suggestions. You can also say things like, what should I watch on Netflix or Prime or Apple TV or whatever it is, and it'll give you suggestions specific to that platform as well. And then here's some other things. You can say something like, you can pick genres like movies or comedies or what's popular. And the more that you use it, is the more AI is really going to, I guess, start to learn you and give you good recommendations that's specific to you. Like, that's what AI is all about, right? So, yeah. There. See here, this TV is supposed to be really good. So these are American price, actually no, Canadian prices. I'm on um, the Canadian Amazon because I'm in Canada. But you're looking at a 55-inch TV that's 4K Ultra HD and $500 Canadian. It's like $300 US. You can't go wrong, right? Even this one here, where it is this TV for $1,000, 65-inch Omni QLED series 4K, and it has built-in the Dolby Vision, IQ, local dimming, hands-free. Like, that's a $1,000 TV. That's pretty good value, I would say. Yeah, this TV looks good. Man, I can't wait for them to release this device the way it's supposed to be. Like, to me, this device is a 2-year-old device that they had in a drawer and they waited for COVID to be done to release it. Like it's so close to being the device that I want, but it's not there yet. I can't wait. I can't wait for this device to be perfected. That's the next device I plan on buying. Once they perfect it. Right now, I'm just using Fitbit because it does what I want it to do. But yeah. Here's one. So there is a deal out right now for people that like horror movies and TV shows. You get 31% off of a streaming service, Shutter, before Halloween. So if you want to get access to a whole bunch of horror content, then there is a deal right now for 31% off. You'd have to create an account, and then you would select the annual membership option, enter your payment information, add home into the promo code field, and then you would get your discount, right? So I think Shutter is like $40 for the year, which isn't bad. Like that's not bad if you like that kind of content, right? Like a lot of people only want to talk about Disney Plus because a lot of people only want to watch Marvel. They only want to watch Star Wars, or they only want to watch Disney princesses. I don't like whatever. But there's a lot more people out there that like other genres. So if you are into horror, because there is a big horror genre, then you can get something like Shutter for $40 for the year, right? It is traditionally $56.99. So this is a good deal. So with the deal, it's coming to $40. That's a good deal. So check out Shutter if you are into horror. Yeah, you can. You can. But here's the thing, Flick Chick. You can do that, or you can just get a device with more memory. Because you're paying for a USB, you're paying for all that stuff. Just get a device with more memory. I'm lazy these days. I like the simplicity of being lazy when it comes to my streaming shit, right? Verizon prepaid customers breached in a cyber attack. What you need to know. Hmm, interesting. You're saying that some of their customers have to set up a brand new PIN code and all that stuff. So if you're with Verizon, you might want to look a little bit more into that. Uh, 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 um. All right, guys, we've been streaming for about an hour. I think I'm probably going to be jumping off really, really soon. Unless you guys have any questions or any comments. Again, I will probably be doing some giveaways in the group for all the bread and weed. So if you wanted to try out those services, make sure you check out the Telegram group. It will be randomly throughout the rest of the day that I'll drop some vouchers for that. There's another Spanish streaming service. So for anybody who's looking for Spanish content, there's a new one called Vidgo Mas. And there's tiered pricing starting at $40, $60, and $80 a month. Shit, that's got to have live content too. Yeah, 42 live on demand channels. So if people are looking for Spanish channels, Vidgo Basic subscription costs $40 with 42 streaming channels on a demand programming, 20 hours of DVR included for the first 90 days. Uno Nice says, keep up the great work. We are enjoying the noontime live streams. You know, this is the best time for me to live stream. I was trying to live stream other times throughout the day and it just wouldn't work. Like, this is the best time for me. So, oh shit, I got to check something. Be right back. I have a couple stocks in play right now. So I just want to make sure that we're good because I haven't been watching since I've been live streaming. All right, sorry, just had to set my limit sells on some stock plays. Didn't want to miss out because I am. Cyclone sending me messages while I'm live streaming. What's wrong with you? Cyclone says, I have questions and comments, lots of questions and comments, enough to last at least another hour. Why can't the stream be 2 hours? Yeah, whatever. Honestly, it would just be too boring. I have nothing to talk about. Yeah, so let's dive back over and see what else is up. I haven't heard or seen of that Uno Nice. He's asking about the Nreal. What is it? Nreal Air AR glasses. Learn more. Available Amazon. Ultra modern. Sunglasses with an edge. Carry anywhere. Watch anytime, anywhere. That's pretty crazy. A 200-inch size screen in a little itty bitty package. No, I haven't tried anything like this. Like, I have an Oculus Quest, and it's pretty dope, but I haven't tried anything like this. You imagine you're trying to talk to your kid, and they're wearing these glasses, and all of a sudden they put on like Shrek, and they like you think that they're paying attention to you, but they're just sitting there watching Shrek. Like, what the hell? That's ridiculous. That is, I don't like. I couldn't. Like, I just let me watch. Let me watch it on TV. Great for nighttime driving. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, why? But you know, kids these days always got to be connected, so that shit's gonna be probably prime time just now. Probably prime time just now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just watch it on TV or watch it on a tablet or watch it on your phone. Like people these days, or at least myself, like I want to have stuff on as like white noise and still be able to do something. But if it's inside my glasses, I can't multitask. All I see is that. It's not 100% wireless. Yeah, you know how quickly your battery would die in that thing, probably. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but That's not for me. Not for me. No, no, no. Really, Cyclone. You're just trying to get me going. I know you are. So he says, Fire OS 6 lasted about 4 years. Fire TV 7 is at about 2 years. What changes do you think Amazon will make leading into Fire OS 8? So I think that it is a lot of implications from Android TV. So, with Android TV implementing certain things like optimizing hardware space and optimizing updates and optimizing how the operating system works and functions for speed, then I think that those will naturally be coming to Fire TV OS 8. The other things that you'll probably be getting is a revamped AI system that's going to want to know you better so that it can kill you better. Skynet, I don't know. Yeah, that's the kind of things that we're looking at. I think that we're going to see a lot more of the operating system built around smart assistants. Now, where we have the Echo devices that are doubling as Wi-Fi extender units, you're going to be able to use your smart assistant from a lot more places and from a lot bigger places in your home, and that's all going to be integrated through your TV, right? Yeah, you know what? But the financial guy inside of me can't afford that shit anymore. So I just kind of shrug my shoulders when I see shit. No, I haven't seen the trailer for Creed 3, which reminds me I need to buy my tickets for Friday for Black Adam. Like I really, really, really want to see Black Adam, but I think that I want to see it so bad that I'm going to end up being disappointed. Because at the end of the day, it is a DC movie. Shots fired. So Cyclone wants to know: do you think they'll be allowing us to update existing devices, or will they do it like they did with the Fire OS 7 and push the whole new suite? So um, they're actually, I don't think they're going to let us upgrade to a new Fire OS version. A lot of times, I think that they actually say that it's hardware based and that it's locked to that Fire OS version. I remember reading that somewhere. So older devices will not be able to go from Fire OS 7 to Fire OS 8. So at least that's my understanding. I could be wrong, but no, Cyclone, not Creed the band, Creed the movie. All right. All right, all right, all right. What do you guys want to talk about? I'll give you guys another 5 minutes and then I'm out. I'm out this place. You know what? I think a lot of us do, Octavia. I think a lot of us do, and a lot of us like to try out some new stuff. Um, Maybe we need to create like a Telegram group for people that want to kind of share devices that we don't use anymore for other people to try out, and maybe give people an opportunity to buy devices as well. Because a lot of us have a lot of tech just laying around. So yeah, yard sale group or something, right? Right, Paper Plate. There's a lot of us with just thousands of dollars of tech just laying around doing nothing. Hey, that's a good phone. The Z Fold 4. I have the 2, and I like it's not my main phone. I use it when I'm like when I need to use the tablet, but I don't have a tablet, so I use that phone. 512 gigs of RAM or gives of hard drive space is good. Love this phone, but the tech enthusiast in me just keeps calling me like pokey pokey, and it says buy me. Yeah. So here's the thing with that phone. That phone is a really nice supplemental device. So like to me, my ideal version of devices would be that device and the flip, having them both, because I would use the fold for work and I would use the flip for pleasure, right? Because like it is a little bit heavier of a device to fold. So when I was going out not related to work, I didn't want to have such a heavy device on me. I wanted to have a nice compact device like the flip. But again, the financial guy inside of me says, hey, you can't afford to have both these phones, so you need to shut the F up. Fold 3 is a good phone too. Yeah. Is there a big difference between the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 7? I want to say yes, but I don't have either one and I haven't used either one. So I can't say. So I would actually recommend going over to my friend Digital Slang's channel, and he's actually on Team Pixel. So Pixel sends him devices and he does content about them. And he has a lot of companies that send him like accessories for phones. So if you have one of these phones, he's a good place to go to find out what kind of cases are out for the phone and which ones are nice and all that kind of good stuff. So I've actually been thinking about joining Team Pixel, but I don't know how to yet, because the only thing that I've gotten back so far is you don't contact them. They contact you. I'm like, all right, Google, I see you. I see you. Because I actually like what they are doing with their newer devices. And I'm really interested about the 7. And I actually want to get the 7. And I actually just cracked the screen on my Samsung. So I'm kind of enticed on getting a new phone, but I can't justify paying for one right now. So yeah, that is what it is. The Note 10 is such a staple device. A lot of people say that they miss their Note 10s. You guys are just being silly in the chat. I want to see where that article was. Uh, oh, there was a controversial article that I had. Where is it? TikTok is more popular among young Americans than Netflix. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Apple announces that. Yeah. Where's that controversial article that I had? Oh, I think I lost it. Yeah, I lost it. I don't know where it went. Yeah, it's true. I got around that by using a lot of voice to text. So like I would just see what was on the screen and use voice to text a lot to navigate it, or not navigate, but interact. Like if I got a message and I saw it there, I would just use voice to text instead of having to type on it. Uno Nice says, I have the Pixel 6 Pro. I decided to not upgrade to the 7. I'm keeping my 6 Pro for now. I have enough phones. Yeah. I've actually been thinking about going back to like my Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus, because it's a good phone. Like I've been thinking about going back to it, and I have a nice, like really rugged case, so I could throw that phone around, and I wouldn't really care if it breaks because it's old now, right? But it still works great. Still a great device. Here's an article here. Don't use the PS5 or the Xbox Series X for video streaming. Here's why. So let me know what you guys think about this article. I seen the title and I was like, okay, this sounds kind of dumb. If you regularly use the PS5 or the Xbox Series X console for accessing some of the best streaming services, including Netflix or Disney Plus, you might want to rethink your viewing habits and instead switch to one of the best streaming devices or watch via smart TV. That's because the new report from Flat Panels HD suggests the video streaming on the next gen consoles is energy hungry. The investigation found that on average, both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X consume significantly more power when streaming compared to the dedicated streaming devices such as Google Chromecast or Apple TV. You like how they don't even mention Amazon devices in there at all, like at all, or Roku, like whatever. Being salty. The raw numbers speak for themselves. Flat Panel HD found that streaming the PS5 consumes around 80 watts of power, and the Xbox Series X drains about 57 watts, and its sibling console, Series S, demands 35 watts. Like, that's nothing, guys. We have cell phones that are charging at like 100 watts these days. These numbers are particularly high when compared to the Chromecast, which requires 2.2 watt. Okay, in comparison, yes, I see what they're saying. But these devices aren't like they have dedicated like GPUs in them that use a lot more power, requires more cooling, and it is what it is, right? Apple TV drains around 4 watts. So there's the same information, but in a chart here. So the PS4 uses 95 watts, PS5 80 watts, Xbox Series X is 57, Xbox Series S is 35, and the Apple TV second gen is 4 watts, and the Google Chromecast is 3.2. So I think the Fire Sticks are around 3 to 5 watts as well, but I would have to actually test that. So that's interesting. But there is Xbox new power feature. Let's see what it says. There's an article that came out recently. It says Microsoft updates Xbox power usage screen. Xbox is rolling out a new update that sheds light on the difference between power consumption in its boot up options. Thanks to this new feature, Xbox consoles will allow players to access more information in order to determine whether their saving energy is worth the loss in convenience. What? It says only 2 out of 3 users that kept their Xbox on standby mode would cost around 500 million in the US alone. Are we talking about energy consumption? It can't be that crazy. New Xbox Series X and S update will give players access to more information on the Xbox power usage, which would help ease environmental concerns. People are really that bored that they have environmental concerns about our Xboxes and PlayStations? Like, geez. Xbox sends out system updates frequently. So you can mute the Xbox startup sound. The new Xbox update is something not only gamers can support, but those who are also concerned about the environment or the electrical bill. Xbox update will include a power usage screen, which shows that energy saver and standby mode have been changed to shutdown and sleep. For a better understanding of which each mode actually is, the power that the Xbox console will use is now shown depending on each mode, and this should allow players to make more informed decisions on whether the convenience is worth the amount of that's going to be charged extra on your electrical bill. Microsoft has added a much better power option. So this is what it looks like. So I guess if you shut it down, it's not going to use any power. But if you put it on sleep, it can use half a watt to 15 watts of power. Californians must shut down gaming consoles at 8 p.m. Yeah. 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 So this is interesting. The only problem is that these consoles have crazy ass updates, and a lot of people leave them on sleep mode so that they can do the updates while we're not using them. So if you constantly shut down your shit, then every time you try to go play it, it's going to say you got to wait for an update. And sometimes these updates are massive. So it's kind of give and take. It's almost like you got to choose, or maybe you got to set your Xbox on a smart switch on a certain timer when the electrical rate is lower. That's funny. I thought that's pretty funny. Um, According to Pure Xbox, shutdown mode uses 26 times less power than standby mode, which this update should shed further light on the power analysis. Additionally, the Xbox Series consoles aren't the only ones with a rest mode, although the PS5 rest mode featured reportedly had issues, which may have given players more of an incentive to not use it. However, the concerns surrounding these features pertain to both consoles rather than Xbox. So that's interesting. It's very interesting. I think that I'm actually really curious about electricity. Um, I think I want to purchase some more tools so that I can measure electricity better and do some devices, some testing on devices, because electricity around the world is going up and a lot more people are having difficulty paying certain bills. So maybe I wonder. This is an interesting question. So let's say you had to decide between the Shield, the Cube, the Chromecast HD, and the new Apple 4K device, right? Some of those on that list are cheaper upfront cost, and some of those on that list might cost you more in electricity over the year. And which way would it go? Like, which one's the most energy efficient? Which one is the least energy efficient? Which one's the cheapest? Which one's the most expensive? Which one's the cheapest when you factor in energy efficiency? And which one's the most expensive when you factor in energy efficiency? Would you guys like to see a video about that? I don't know. I'm curious. I don't know how in depth I could really go about it, but it would be kind of cool just from that perspective, right? I've never seen a video about that. So I don't know. Maybe I might look into that. But it is 2:00. I have to leave to pick up my kid from school. You guys did end up getting an hour and a half out of me for a live show. So you're welcome, Cyclone. Uno Nice says Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro. I found out that these are the first two Android phones that only use ARM36 apps. You can't use anything less, and it won't install. Yeah, of course, because ARM32 won't install on ARM36. But if you're getting all of your apps through the... Actually, wait. 32 should work on 64 devices. It should. But whatever. It could be a lib issue in the actual programming. If you're getting all of your apps legitimately through the Google Play Store or the App Store, then it will optimize for your device anyways. So whatever. Yeah, I actually end up unplugging a lot of devices that I don't use because I need all the access to power that I can get. So yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I appreciate every one of you guys that have come out to the stream. Just a reminder, there's about 63% of you guys that are not subscribed to the channel. And there's a lot of good content that I talk about. There's a lot of good news updates. This week, I'm doing a little bit different. I am doing live streams only this week with no actual videos being released. But when I do release videos for you guys, they are usually around 5 minutes. And I really, really respect your time. And I try to make the videos as short as possible. There's a lot of incentives on YouTube to make videos over 8 minutes long so that more advertisements can be displayed in it. But at the end of the day, I want to be respectful to you guys, and I want to make sure that I'm not wasting your time. When I release live streams like this, you can always watch them after the fact. You can skip through them and you can play them at 2x speed, and you can play it as audio only if you want, depending on your device and your setup, and just kind of listen to the information as you go throughout your day. So I don't mind going a little bit longer on a live stream than obviously in a video. So you want to make sure that you are subscribed There's a lot of people that are not subscribed watching the content, and I don't think that people know that they're not subscribed. I've lost a lot of subscribers over the years, and I'm just starting to gain a couple subscribers actually this month. Not a whole lot, gaining a couple. So a lot of people are finding out about me for the first time, and they're finding me for the first time. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys putting up with my content, because I'm always trying to put out some stuff for you guys. But at the end of the day, my main goal over the last 4 to 5 years that I've been doing this is really to build a community, or build a platform, or build a place where you guys can get the information that you want, and it has nothing to do with me, right? It's all about you guys helping each other. There's more of you guys than there is me. And at the end of the day, the collective will always be smarter, faster, stronger, better than one person could ever be, right? Give me 1 second here. Well, it looks like my kid's school ended early today, and he's already out. So I will be leaving on that point. But at the end of the day, be thoughtful, be thankful, and try to spread positivity anywhere that you can. There's a lot of people that are getting into this community, and they're brand new, and they don't know much about anything. And there's a lot of different ways to really cut the cord. And we have to understand that the way that we do it, the way that I do it, the way that you do it, the way that people in the community do it will always be different. And be respectful, be honest, and be genuine. It's Mark from NxTLvLTech, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Hey everybody, just before we get going, I wanted to say a huge thank you, much love and appreciation to everyone who supports what I do over here on NxTLvLTech. Make sure you hit that like and that subscribe button, and share these videos with a family member and friend.